So the next topic is positioning of lines. You've learned about what lines are, you've learned about angles, and positioning of lines will help us understand how lines and angles work together. The first type you need to know is intersecting lines. So intersecting lines are lines that meet or that have a single point in common. Okay, so what does this look like? If I have line A, B, and I have line C, D, they meet at one spot, let's call it point O. The next type is a specific kind of intersecting lines called perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are lines that intersect but specifically at right angles. Okay, so if we have line A, B, and CD crosses it at one spot, so as we said, O, but it forms a 90-degree angle where they meet. That means that they're perpendicular lines. And the way to write that is that AB, or line AB, is perpendicular, and this is the symbol, to line CD. So this here represents the perpendicular sign. So AB, line AB is perpendicular to CD. The next type is parallel lines. So parallel lines are lines that do not and will never intersect. And remember, if a line is going in the same direction for a very long time, it cannot intersect later if it is parallel, because they are equally distant apart. So there are two types of parallel lines. The first is distinct, and these have no points in common. Okay, so this is what we typically think about if we have parallel lines. So you have A, B, and you have C, D, and they're equally distant in between. At all points, and therefore they will never actually hit one another. The second type of parallel lines is called coincident, and we don't really use this a lot, but it does exist. And that is when all points are in common. So this is not an intersecting line because they actually are completely one on top of each other. So what would that look like if you have AB? You also have CD, and they don't have to be in exactly the same place to show the point, but basically they're right on top of each other. And how do we write that lines are parallel? We write that AB is parallel, so it looks like two ones next to each other, to C, D. And this here is the parallel symbol.